I'm 22. Since I was little, my family has lived in a 3-story suburban home. My second-floor bedroom and my dad's third-floor office both face the street. After last week, I'm convinced something sinister is happening to us, and it's been going on for years. The first thing happened over a decade ago. I overheard my dad telling my mom something had happened again. My brother later told me the story. Dad was working late one night and saw a Chevy Suburban crawl down our street at 5 miles per hour. It later parked across from our house. No one got out. Dad eventually fell asleep at his desk. When he woke up at 5:30 a.m., the car was still there, unmoved. It left before sunrise. He'd seen cars patrolling our street late at night before, but this was the strangest instance. Years later, when I was 15, I was up late in my room when I saw a flicker of light outside. A squadron of at least 3 cars was driving slowly down the street. The occupants were shining flashlights at houses. One beam swept across my house and lit up my ceiling. I ducked just in time. He assumed it was people casing houses. Dad installed a Ring doorbell and security cameras. A couple years after that, a landscaper found a tiny, hidden camera in our backyard bushes. It was battery-powered, with no memory card, meaning it likely streamed footage nearby. We checked our security footage, but found nothing. My parents reported it to the police. Later, our next-door neighbors moved out, and a youngish couple with no kids moved in. I often saw them standing at their top-floor window, looking into our yard at strange hours. One night, while walking my dog, I saw them in their kitchen with a third man. He was bald, muscular, with very thick eyebrows. As if they noticed me, the woman swiftly closed the curtains. I never forgot that man's face. You might think I'm paranoid, but what happened next changed everything. Last week, my family was on vacation in Paris. We were all at a bar when I saw him, the same man from my neighbor's kitchen years ago, sitting alone. We locked eyes. He knew I recognized him. He got up and left without finishing his drink. I tried to follow, but couldn't find him. A few days later, in broad daylight, I saw him again. He was about 50 feet away, using a professional-looking camera that seemed pointed in our direction. I finally told my parents everything. My dad believed me and suggested cutting the trip short. We didn't, but the vacation was ruined. Back home, Dad checked security footage but found nothing. I'm now convinced we've been watched for over a decade. I don't know who they are or what they want, but I believe things are going to escalate. Oh, this next part is a separate incident from about 20 years ago when I was 15, during my parents' divorce. I was sent to stay with my great-aunt Lucy in her massive Victorian house in Vermont, which she'd converted into apartments. Aunt Lucy lived on the first floor, but avoided her own master bedroom, sleeping in a small den instead. For the first week, I heard methodical footsteps pacing in the apartment above us every night. When I mentioned it, Aunt Lucy said the second floor had been vacant for a month, blaming the sounds on the building settling. I pressed her until she showed me the empty apartment. Inside, I saw fresh scuff marks on the floors, forming a clear path matching the footsteps I heard. She dismissed them as old. That evening, as we watched a movie, the footsteps started again. Aunt Lucy just turned up the volume, refusing to acknowledge them. I called my mom, who told me not to mention it again, calling it a sensitive topic. One night near the end of my stay, I woke up and saw a faint light moving upstairs through the slightly ajar stairwell door. I was terrified and wanted to leave. Years later, a cousin told me Aunt Lucy had sold the building. There'd been an incident in the 90s. Someone had died there under unclear circumstances around the time. Aunt Lucy inherited the place. My mom still refuses to explain. I don't believe in ghosts. I think Aunt Lucy was hiding someone up there, or perhaps being blackmailed. It's one of those things I'll never fully understand, and I've never forgiven my mom for keeping the truth from me.